Everybody, and welcome to the Positivity Show with Shuey Miller. That is the new name. I am changing the name to the Positivity Show since it's on YouTube. It's not really a podcast, really. So I just want to thank everybody for their amazing support. And once again, this is the Positivity Show with Shuey Miller. And first of all, I'd like to send out a heartfelt wishes to the city of Pittsburgh, all the families and victims that were affected by the shooting this week. I also want to say that, that it's important that we unite together, not just during tragedies, but all the time. And it's nice to see a lot of the community, other religions and races raising money to end the hate and and the stuff, the bad stuff that's happening in this world. And we need to unite together, all races, religions, sexual orientation, whatever you are. We need to unite together as human beings, and hopefully we can do that. We still have a ways to go, but hopefully things look to be turning up. Definitely optimistic about it. So, once again, the best wishes and prayers to the families that were affected, and the victims, and the city of Pittsburgh, and to all human beings. So. Happy Halloween. Today is October 31st, and our topic today does kind of tie in with Halloween and also what happened in Pittsburgh, in a way. The topic today is fear, and it definitely does have to do with Halloween in some ways, and definitely fear for people's lives and fear of what's going on in this country, definitely with what happened in Pittsburgh. So I thought that was a great topic for this week, for this show in particular. Fear basically is spelled F-E-A-R, for those of you who don't know. And it's interesting because, if you put dots in between all the letters, you can pretty much, say it stands for something. You can either F everything and run, or forget everything and run, probably is the best thing to use. I do not want to be cursing on YouTube or on this show, because there are people who are definitely offended by cursing. Or you could face everything and react. And, the interesting thing about fear is that it can both motivate us and it can both hinder us. It all depends on what it's about and the things that are happening. So, it's an interesting thing that happens to us with fear. Once again, it definitely can hinder us. It definitely can motivate us, and it all depends on the situation, I guess. It all depends on the person, and the situation that it's in. I think that in my own experience, that fear of things have definitely stopped me from doing some of the things that I needed to do when I was younger. When I was going on and getting a job or doing certain things that I was doing, all based out of fear, really. And, it's just interesting because, it can definitely, like I said, motivate us or hinder us depending on the situation. And, there was a lot that, happened in my life based off of fear. So, it's an interesting thing, fear. And there's a lot of fears that come up in life. There's fear of being alone, fear of the unknown, which is, I think, a huge one. Fear of the unknown, I think a lot of people have, of what's going to happen you know, here and what's going to happen there. And, you know, it's about, you know, staying the course and realizing that you can beat fear and motivating yourself to, you know, do that and beat it. Sometimes it's hard. You know, it definitely hindered me a lot in my lifetime. That's 100%. It definitely cost me some opportunities. And I share that with you because I think it's important for us to remember that fear it's a real emotion. It's a fear, you know, of things. It's scary, you know, when we get stuck in that, you know. And obviously, you know, the fears that I talked about, fear of the unknown, fear of being alone, is a big one that people, I think, have. You know, people have families, worried about their families, their children, you know, and fear is scary. It definitely motivates us, you know. You know, I can guarantee that, you know, because of fear of something happening, you know, synagogues are going to have extra precautions this week, for sure. And I'm sure throughout the week they did, you know, extra security, extra police, whatever it is. You know, so, like I said, in my own experience, fear stopped me from being able to go get jobs, being able to go out and try to function in the real world. Definitely made me act a certain way. You know, especially when my parents got divorced, I think that a lot of my flip outs were based off of fear of, like, what do I do now? That's just the way I feel, you know. And it's definitely an interesting topic because I feel like fear, you know, definitely is a motivating factor either way. You know, it can hinder us and it could, you know, motivate us. It all depends, you know, on the situation. You know, and fear can lead us to do something great or something good. I mean, or something bad. It all really depends on the situation, the person. You know, we all get that fight or flight response. You know, when your heart beats and, you know, you're worried about things that are going on, you know, and, you know, you either act or you don't act. You either run or you fly, you know. You either fight or you flight, you know. Run and fight. I can't believe run and flight. I can't believe I said that. It definitely is. I think fear is a struggle for a lot of people. You know, how am I going to pay these bills? You know, what if I lose my job? These things. And we have to remember to stay in the moment and stay in control of our thoughts and what we can control. That's the biggest thing, I think, with fear, is the scariest part, because it's out of our control. A lot of times when we're afraid of something, it's because it's out of our control. And I think that the biggest thing when it comes to, you know, things that you can't control is to let it slide. You know, to let it, I mean, don't not act on, you know, serious things that happen in this world or serious things that happen to you. You know, that's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that, you know, when things do happen that's out of our control, we need to, you know, evaluate and look at the situation and see what we can do and what, you know, rationally is the right move. And I think that that's important, you know, and sometimes it's not easy. And, you know, you may say it can't be done with fear, you know, like being able to take the time to evaluate. You know, sometimes you do have to act quick. You do have to act fast. And it can be difficult, you know, but to remain positive through the situation, you know, about anything, you know, you need to evaluate it. With so much negativity in this world, we have to remain positive. We have to remain united. That's really the only way to beat these types of things that do happen. We need to be able to, you as a society, be able to get along with each other, because otherwise things like this keep happening. Will keep happening, and unless we band together and, like I said, put fears aside and try to, work things out. Obviously, honestly, you may say that there will still be people who will act that way, and yeah, there will be. But I think that the more people that band together, the easier it will be to weed out those types of people, and we'll be able to do something about it and prevent things like this from definitely happening, like the tragedy in Pittsburgh and other tragedies across the United States and world this past year. Definitely been a rough year when it comes to shootings and things like that. So, back to fear. Basically, it's a difficult one, because fear, like I said, can motivate us or hinder us. It can make us do great things. It can make us do bad things. It can make us not do anything at all. And it's all about, most of it is about control. And when you do act a certain way in fear, it's majority of the time to gain some control back of the situation, so you're not fearful anymore. And there's something that I learned, about, control, is that the more you let go, the easier it is. The more you realize that the universe, or whatever it is, what have you, has a plan, or that whatever's going to happen, you're going to be okay, the less fearful you're going to be, and the less you can let it roll off your shoulder and be like, it is what it is. And that truthfully, like I said, I think last time, was a statement that people don't like, but it is what it is. But like I said, I'm going to reiterate that, I'm not saying to not do things out of fear, and not, but I'm saying that the thing with it is that, with fear, is that in order to be able to combat the fear rationally and successfully, is to think about it and evaluate it. Like I said earlier, sometimes you don't have the time to do that, and that can be challenging. Most definitely. So we need to make sure that we can combat fear the best we can. And like I said, in my own experience, I've definitely lost opportunities, a lot of opportunities in life, because of fear. But how do we, live positive on that note? How do we positively deal with fear? Positively deal with fear. We have to, once again, look at it as a whole. Accept the fear for what it is. Understand the fear for what it is. And then face everything and react. Fear, F-E-A-R, face everything and react. That's the best way to do it, is to evaluate, to decide, to see it is what it is, come up with the best strategy, and move forward with fear. And we all have fear. We're all scared of something. And I think majority of people have the fear of the unknown, and that's the thing. You can't control the unknown. That's why it's so scary. There's 3 days in this world. There's yesterday. It's gone with all its worries and its terrible things. There's tomorrow, which hasn't come yet, and you're not guaranteed tomorrow. Sad, I know. But that's reality. And today is the only thing in front of you that you can't control. How are you going to positively impact the world today, even with as much fear as has to be running around in this country because of things that have happened over the last year. Terrible, terrible things. It's sad. But we have to positively evaluate the situation and come out with a positive outcome for everybody to prevent such tragedies and to prevent our fears from running our lives, basically. We have to look at things and accept things for what they are and be able to beat them for what they are. And that's the only way you can really successfully beat it. They say in order to beat an opponent, you have to know your opponent. Know its weakness. And fear's biggest weakness is that you're not afraid and that you've made an educated and smart decision to beat the fear. So in order to beat the fear, you have to properly evaluate it. And like I said, positively deal with it in the right way, and you should be able to beat it. Anyway, in closing, I would like to thank you for watching this episode of the Positivity Show with Shuey Miller. And we have to, together, and as a society, to stop these terrible tragedies from happening, like I said. And we have to let fear stop running our lives and try to deal with it in the most positive way we possibly can, by evaluating it, accepting it, and defeating it. Facing everything and react, not forgetting everything and run, and not just acting on pure emotion and pure hatred or pure whatever's going on inside your head. Till next time, have a positive one, a beautiful one, and let's band together and stop the hate and spread the love, spread all things good. Enjoy your day. Be safe on Halloween. Have a positive one, everybody.